morning to all of you, and it's indeed an honor, a privilege to connect with the one of the most enlightened group of our society, better known as teachers, right? And of course, I got to know that you all happen to be connected from different parts of the country, and specifically some from the southern part also. So I believe I'll be keeping my discussion or conversation more in English, but then of course anywhere that you feel that you could not connect or you could not kind of take away the message out of it, please you can tell me then and there, and I'll try to even translate it. So I'll keep it more in English, and in case if in the flow of like my emotions I somewhere go ahead in Hindi and something which you are again not able to connect, please you can again you know tell me to translate, so that yes, we are kind of connected with all the conversations that we are having this morning. Okay, to begin with, I'll start with a basically a set of 20 statements, right? So that will be reflected on the presentation that I'll be sharing, and where I'll request all of you, right, where you can just kind of look into those 20 statements. They're not questions, and each statement has two responses, either yes or no. So whatever you feel that is your response, whatever is your reality, because I'm not going to ask that to which statement what was your response, did you say yes or did you say no. That's absolutely being honest to yourself, right? So पूरी ईमानदारी के साथ, पूरी सच्चाई के साथ and honesty के साथ हम वो 20 statements attempt करेंगे, right? And उसमें से whatever you feel कि you have more responses as yes, that is again your kind of take away from it, or whatever more knows or anything, right? So that will be primarily your self evaluation to those statements, which is going to be somewhere part of your reality. So without wasting any time, I would open my presentation. So yes, that's the basically those 20 set of statements, right, which I said that each statement has any of the two responses. It can be either yes or it can be no. In fact, that's what we've kept, just these two options, but in case if you are not confirmed about it, you're not sure about it, then you can even have a third option as maybe, right? So please, I can may I request all of you to please attempt these 20 statements, and then we would like to go about it, that yes, what was this primarily, what did it lead to. In case if any statement is not clear, again I can explain it. Of course, the first statement is I see challenges as opportunities most of the times. So that depends again upon you, how do you feel, because it's going to be your reality. So either it can be yes or it can be no. Number two is I'm happy with who I am. Three is I know that I'm competent at doing something. So competent means that yes, I am capable and I have this kind of a competency or a skill set which makes me more capable. So that is I know that I'm competent at doing something. Fourth is I know what I should do to improve upon. Fifth, I learn from my mistakes. Sixth is I can handle any situation. Right, so that again depends upon you, how do you take it. Seventh is I can understand different emotions. So please let me make it clear that this is primarily about your emotions, not anybody else's emotions. So I can understand different my different emotions. I think it could have been more clear. Number eight is I'm happy about 5 out of 7 days. So in those 7 days in a week, I'm happy about 5 days. Number nine is I know my positive qualities. 10th, I can cope with my feelings, right? So coping is where I'm able to somewhere balance out my feelings. Number 11, I enjoy free time. 12, I know how to have fun. 13, I'm talented and I use my talents well. Number 14 is my actions speak more than my words. 15 is I do what I enjoy. 16, I know what to do when feeling low. Now that's also something which majority of the times we are not able to figure out or not able to understand. When we are feeling low, what to do now. Number 17 is I can control my anger. 18, I'm willing and I do take time to learn something new. 19th, I enjoy what I do. And last one, there's a typical error. It has to be I try to put in my best in whatever I do, not beat in whatever I do. So these are those 20 statements. In case if anybody has any confusion about any statement, anything which is not clear, please you can, raise your query. And I really believe that we must have attempted most of the statements. So do I come back to the screen, or is it that we need more time? Okay, I'll believe I'll stop sharing now, and just a second. Okay, so those completed. Thank you, Amritesh ji. I would even open my message box also. So, okay, great, wonderful. A lot of you seem to have completed, right? So now I would not ask that where did you say yes and where did you say no, but then I really want to know that what was it more? Was it no more or was it yes more? Any one of you? What was more, no or no? No's were more or yes was more? Okay, Ankush ji says yes were more. Amritesh ji says 13 yes. So out of 20, 13 were yes. So definitely yes were more. G- Grehvardhan ji says yes for more. Okay, great. And I'm really glad, it gives a lot of confidence when you see some responses pouring in an online session, because otherwise, mostly it's like, as if you're just talking to the screen only. So, which is, I think, it needs a lot of courage for the facilitator also to, keep talking, because when you don't see much responses coming in. But I'm really, really glad that this is not my situation and a lot of you have even responded. Wonderful. Anybody who says knows more, that's really okay if we have no more. Or if it is, a balance, equal number of yes and equal number of no's. Okay, great. So, yes, now we need to really kind of understand or figure out what was this. Of course, as over those 20 statements, there was a heading like introspect your situation. So, of course, it was about introspecting your situation, but then primarily introspecting what? As Joby, those set of 20 statements, could we kind of make out, what were we leading towards? Any one of you, if you could unmute yourself and speak up, or if you could put your responses in the message box, as after attempting those 20 statements, what do you feel, what deeper understanding you could gather about yourself? Anyone, anything we could, you personally felt, okay, this was my takeaway. Wonderful, thank you, Vanita ma'am. So you said self realization, great. And anybody else, anything more? Anything more as per those 20? Okay, Ranjit Singh ji says some of the points are situational. Yes or no, depends upon the situation. Definitely. Yes, it cannot be, kind of similar, or it cannot be kind of, standardized that every time this is going to be the response. But then definitely something which happens more often is where we need to put our, thoughts. um, Anybody, okay, started thinking about self? Oh, great, Ankush ji. If this could happen, then that's a big time achievement, right? Because I think this is what we're missing more often these days. We are really, really concerned about what is happening in the world outside, specifically in the people whom I kind of consider to be my own people, right? My own family, and then, of course, even my students, but maybe I'm least, knowing about myself. Amita ji says that I take challenges as not as challenges, but as to remove my comfort zone and move forward more strongly. That's outstanding, Amita ji. If you could, if you know have this approach in life, because very frankly, that's so true that yes, without facing any challenges, we are not growing. because somewhere we have really created something very disastrous, very damaging for ourselves, and that is known as comfort zone, right? So wherever we step out of a comfort zone, that is, yeah, yes, where we feel that, that it is a little bit of challenging situation, but it is only then and there that we are growing, we are progressing in life. So again, I'm really glad to seek such in depth, insights coming from Vinita ji, Ranjit ji, Ankush ji, and Amita ji, that you could somewhere feel that this was related to self realization. Okay, Niveda ji says, I came to know how I have handled the situations these days. Yes. So I think put together everything, these 20 statements were primarily about our responses and how do we, you know, um, how do we operate or behave in certain situations, in certain or maybe in different situations, right? So different situations like challenges, different situations like free time, different situations like learning from mistakes, different situations, yes, doing what I enjoy. So that's like, how do we respond to different circumstances, and how do then we simultaneously operate or behave. So this was more about, yes, connecting to your behavior, conduct, or response to a situation. But now I want to ask another question, that what do we do more often? Do we respond, or do we react? What do we do more often? Act. Oh, great. That was very honest, Nivedji. We react more often. So when you have so promptly come up with this answer that we react more often, that means somewhere you are able to differentiate. Okay, voice is breaking, Amritesh ji. Is it for everybody? My voice is breaking. Oh, okay. Then in that case, I think Manisha ji, you need to help us, like, because I'm doing this session online from NITTR facility only. So Manisha ji, is it some net connectivity
It's
issue?
fine, ma'am. It's fine, ma'am.
It's fine. Acha, okay. Then in that case, I believe it is maybe, at your respective front, that the net connectivity is not, very smooth. So please, if you could check it at once at your end as well. Okay. So coming back to respond and react, right? And yes, you've come up with responses like, we mostly react, and sometimes, okay, even Niveta ji says ki sometimes it's like we respond also. So then that means we need to really differentiate what's the difference between responding and reacting. What's the difference between responding and reacting? Any one of you? It would be really nice if any one of you could even unmute yourself, because then it's like it's faster, and then definitely you are able to express it more wholeheartedly. Sometimes we get little bit kind of slow down in writing. Yeah,
Hello.
Vinita. Yes,
Hello.
good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. Myself, Dr. S. Manakula from JEC Arts Engineering College, Jaipur.
Okay. Oh, acha, sir, your Windows name was Vinita, so that's why. Very good morning, sir.
React means reply instantaneously without even giving a thought. Uh,
Without even giving a
with
thought.
nervous,
Yes,
with on
yes,
nervous system.
yes,
And
sir. And that,
responding means giving a thought, processing with the thought, and then replying according to considering the what your reply will affect on other person.
definitely, definitely. Thank you so much, sir. That was, yes, something very, very, again, significant, that you said that reacting is without giving it a thought, right? We immediately just prompt, anything which first strikes our mind. Where responding is where we are a little thoughtful, and specifically we take into consideration the person on the other front. Right. So, okay, I got some responses in the message box also, where We should, okay, Amita ji says we should respond face to face as to know the exact fact that what the one wants to communicate and what other is receiving. So yes, it is where we're trying to connect with the person on the other front, and it's not just that we are, you know, putting across only our thoughts without even, taking it into consideration that who is the receiver. Ankurji says responding is something analyzing the situation, then speak about the facts. Yes, so it is like, of course, again, that we need to be little thoughtful and, little kind of. Give a pause and then come up with, whatever action or whatever conversation that we have to go on with. Amritesh ji says reacting is instant, but response should be with thoughts and analyzing. uh, Niveta ji says reacting is just act as the flow of the situation without even realizing. Yeah. And then, of course, somewhere we've really realized that majority of the times, most of us, we only react and we do not respond. So now I think this is what first and foremost emotionally intelligent people do. That is, they respond to situations and they do not react. Think of it how, effective our communication, how strong our relations or associations would have been if we would have most of the times been responding to our, conversations, and responding to you our, the different actions that we take up, right? Even inclusive of our behavior and conduct. But that is what, where we go missing, where it is like, majority of the times we go wrong, that we do not respond but we react. But now the concern is, why do we do it more often? Why do we react more often, and why do we respond less often? Aisa kyun? Why do we react more often? That means there is some, missing link, some, because when it comes to answering back, when it comes to understanding, where we are going wrong, we all have that understanding, we all have that realization. But then, even after knowing everything, why are we going wrong? Why do we react more often? Because of impatience, we react immediately. So true, Niveta ji. And I believe now we need to go deeper into understanding the facts and realizing it. Why are we impatient more these days? I've already added a clue to it. But when I said, why are we more impatient, and that too specifically these days? Competition, okay, yes. Competition where we want to prove ourselves to be the best, right? So we are always, stress. Yeah, right, there's a lot of stress which can be because of competition, stress which can be. Now let's get keep digging deeper into reality. So first was that we react more. Now we need to know why we react more. We react more because we are impatient. And then, why are we impatient? We are impatient because of stress, we are impatient because of competition. So can we now kind of, put our thoughts together? What are the stresses? Or maybe why are the stresses more these days? Workload, perfect, right? So yes, that's one of the reason that, yes, there is a lot of workload. So because of which very often we feel more, stressed out, or we lose our, temperament, because of which we get impatient, right? Ankush ji says we are more in a casual behavior, and we, okay, mostly, and we only respond in professional meetings. So when it comes to maybe, being with our colleagues, being with our peer group, or maybe sometimes even with our students, or definitely back home, of course, we all are casual. So we tend to be more casual, and that's why we tend to react rather than responding. Amritesh ji says because we're not able to stay calm, and calmness is basic requirement for proper responding. Yeah. So I think now we somewhere reach to a conclusion that we are more stressed out, right? And the reason for stress is that we are more, loaded with work. We are more kind of involved into many things. So there are, many responsibilities that we are handling in one go, right? I think that's what is the primarily the stress or the workload. the spelling. Okay. And many responsibilities, many aspirations. Is it? Okay, Netaji says the work we're doing from morning to night becomes stresses because of time that cannot be managed. So now, yes, that's what I mean. We are trying to reach out to this flow of direction only. That yes, there is a lot of workload. There are many things there are many responsibilities that we are handling in one go. But then again, why are we taking so much in one go? Is it that we have many aspirations? Is it that we are more ambitious these days? Is it that we are not willing to settle for less? Right? Okay. And okay, workplace and family environment support and team spirit is lacking more often, right? So okay, thank you, Ji. So right. So is it that now that's what, like, we want to be good in our work, all the responsibilities, also we want to give best to our family as well, and then simultaneously we want to do something for ourselves also, right? Which is like, yes, how can I grow up, how can I be a better person, how I can be more learned. So now when we want to do so many things all together, we really need to understand that this definitely leads to a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. So, and this is the reality of today. Reality of today is that yes, we don't want to compromise on anything, right? And in that process only, we have become more, sorry,
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
is it? I don't know, Manisha ji. I mean, I haven't done anything. I haven't shaken up anything. Maybe the net connectivity only.
Now it's fine, ma'am. Please
Is it
continue.
fine? Okay. Yes, so that's why I'm writing also together that yes, along with it, that yes, that's the one reality of today, that we don't want to compromise upon anything. We don't want to settle down for less. We're more ambitious, we're more aspiration, and that's definitely it is okay. It is, and which we normally call it, yes, being in the competition, proving yourself, every time, right? But then in that, somewhere what we need to realize stronger is that what is my real ability? What is my real ability? First, I want to do everything. I want to be a real achiever. I don't want to settle down. I want to fulfill all my responsibilities. But then, do I know what is my real ability? Am I really that person who can actually take up this much of load? Or is it that I need to do something to improvise myself? Or is it that, yes, I have to maybe make certain, amendments or alterations in my lifestyle so that, yes, I gradually, find my peace, my calm, and then I am able to do things more maturely and in a more, thoughtful way, right? Setting your priorities. Thank you so much. Yes, Amita ji, setting your priorities, right? And this is what we would now be talking about, right? Which is like, how do we set up our priorities? Setting up of priorities, right? Where first and foremost, we need to again somewhere introspect our situation, right? I'll go back to the presentation once again. And okay, so I believe we just had kind of attempted these 20 statements and they're visible to everybody once again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the full screen is coming. हाँ जी. So ये हमने 20 statements attempt किया था, and we still need to find out, कि what was the final outcome. If it, and majority of you said it is more yes. So first and foremost, I want to congratulate all of you, right? If you said that it is mostly yes, then it means that you are an individual who has good emotional skills. Now, again, as Dr. Rama had introduced us to the topic at the very start of the session, that she said now gradually we have started talking about or taking up sessions like, topics like emotional intelligence. And when it's about skills, then there is something like emotional skills also. And one of the, the top uh, most important emotional skill is self acceptance, right? So where it is like somebody who says that I have strong emotional skills, that means that individual has a high level of self acceptance. But then that acceptance means that you're accepting yourself just the way you are, where you accept your strengths and simultaneously you even have an understanding about your weaknesses. Now weaknesses, which again we can actually put it in a more positive way, weaknesses are those areas that where we need to improve, right? And when we always know where is it that I need to improvise upon it, then I am definitely always in that more progressive and in more positive state, where I would always be looking out for opportunities, how, when, and where I can improvise myself. So then when I know that I'm not somebody who's 100% competent or who's 100% effective in everything, and I'm more kind of connected to my reality, knowing that I go weak at situations, at sometimes, at certain circumstances, then I do not get completely disheartened or disappointed. I think now this is something which is happening very often with majority of us, that we face a lot of disappointment, right? Many things, many little things would just shaken us up and make us feel that, oh no, things are not working according to my plans, and maybe I just need to give up, or maybe yes, I cannot try anymore, right? So I think this statement under mostly yes, the last statement is something very, very beautiful. It says, you see life's problems as challenges and ways to grow even if you don't realize it yet. I think this came from one of our respective teacher today. Of course I'm little getting confused with the name, but I think one of you, you had written in the message box that I take challenges as ways to grow out. And that has been your journey. So yes, this is one reality, that challenges always help us to grow out. And whether maybe we may be that time, we may be really shaken up, we may be really feeling very low, our morals might be really down, but then the people who face more challenges are the people who grow more, and they would never kind of settle down for less. Okay, now for those having mostly no, we need to start working on specifically improvising our emotional skills, where first and foremost it starts by feeling better. Feeling better, which includes everything which makes you feel more calm, peaceful, happy, positive, right? So doing all those things which actually give you certain state of relaxation, certain state of feeling better, feeling good. And that's how we start our journey or initiate our journey to improvising our emotional skills. Okay, going back to the previous slide, there are these two statements. Statement number 15, please read through it once again, which says, I do what I enjoy. Statement number 15 is, I do what I enjoy. And 19 is, I enjoy what I do. Please read through both the statements once again. 15 is, I do what I enjoy, and 19 is, I enjoy what I do. Once again, I would stop sharing and I'll come back to the main screen. Now, any one of you who could tell me which statement is more um, important. Statement number 15, I do what I enjoy, or statement number 19, I enjoy what I do. Which statement is more important, more meaningful? 15 or 19? Any one of you? 19. I enjoy what I do. Okay. Very nice. Great. Amita ji, Sanjay ji, Smita ji. Right. So that means we could clearly understand the difference between the two, because otherwise it was just a juggle of the words, right? I enjoy what I do. or I do what I enjoy. Chetanji, you raise your hand. Please, if you wanted to say something, you can unmute yourself. Yes, Chetanji. Will you be able to unmute yourself? Okay, well, I don't know if it is by mistake or something. Amita ji, you say that in a professional world, whatever given to you should be done thoroughly, and that too, if you enjoy, then the results will be better, definitely. And let me ask you once again, that is it that statement number? Okay, no worries, that's absolutely fine, Chetanji. So, is it that yes, when we start doing things in an enjoyable way, or when we start enjoying whatever we are doing, is it that only it affects the results or the outcomes, or we personally also somewhere benefit out of it? My question is in continuation to what Amita ji has written. She's written that whenever, in a professional world, we need to do things thoroughly, and, they have to be, the results have to be better, then we need to start enjoying what we are doing. But apart from, yes, yeah, Amita ji, we start growing personally also. And I think even before growing personally, we feel good about whatever we're doing, right? We are a little more relaxed, we are a little more calm and peaceful in our ways. Everything would not seem to be a compulsion or a pressure. I think it's just the change of approach. These two statements, I enjoy what I do, right, or I do what I enjoy. Now there's a difference. That's the difference. Aaj wahi baat, we are not able to find that connect. Majority of the times we only want to do what I enjoy. मुझे वही करना है जो मुझे अच्छा लगता है. लेकिन yes, the reality is that life does not every time offer you what you enjoy doing it, right? But then, yes, there are so many things which you're already doing, and if you start enjoying them, then definitely you are a happier, you are a healthier and a more positive person around, right? Okay, now in continuation to the same, I would go back to the presentation, and I would now be asking you again. It will be something which needs your involvement in it, that how do you mostly take your decisions, on what basis do you mostly take your decisions? So yes, the slideshow. Your decisions, are they by your choice? If yes, then that's, I think there can be nothing better than that, right? But then again, maybe many a times our decisions are not by our choice. Then how are they? They happen either by chance. Now by chance is that yes, you had no other alternative, you had no other option, and maybe this was the only option, and then you just kind of um, carried away. You were went moved on with the same decision only. Ki, okay, there was no other alternative, no other option, so you just kind of compromised with the same. And the lastly is by compulsion. So now you have to decide on that when it is your decisions, majority of the times, on what basis do you take your decisions in life? Is it by choice, or is it by chance that no other options were available and then you just kind of settle down for that only? Or is it by compulsion, because yes, you did not have any say only, आपकी कोई मर्जी, आपकी कोई उसमें yes आपकी पसंद नापसंद का consideration था ही नहीं. So then that means something which came compulsively or forcefully, so that's by compulsion. So coming back to the screen again, what do you feel? What is your reality? Your decisions? Is it by your choice? Is it by chance? Or is it under some compulsion majority of the times? Okay, wow. Greh Vardhan ji says mostly by right choice. Wow, I like you've added that even right choice also. So choices can be both right and wrong. So you've made it specific. Great. Amita ji says, if not according to me, then I used to ask that decision maker about the perspective. Maybe I was not able to understand, and then I come to know different angle of the story, and then judgment is over. Wow, I'm really absolutely kind of awestruck, Amita ji, with your way of putting things across and being so humble and generous to convey that yes, initially if you somewhere feel that you're going wrong, then you would even you know try to take up that opinion, understand the perspective, and then you are out of those judgments. It's remarkable, really nice. Ankurji says 60 by choice, 20 by compulsion, and 20 by chances. Again, congratulations to you, Ankushji, that you're so much well familiar with your situation, because majority of the times शायद हमें ये भी नहीं पता होता है कि हमारे साथ हो क्या रहा है, राइट? और उसी में शायद अक्सर चीजें ओनली बाय चांस या बाय कंपल्शन ही चल रही होती हैं. And Sundar Rajanji says again by right choice. Wow. Okay, great. I'm really glad that people here not only know what is that reality, but then they even understand the difference between right and wrong, ethical or unethical, or maybe, yes, their own mistakes. As Amita ji says, that sometimes we go judgmental, we frame opinions. In that case, knowing others' perspective is so important. Okay, now, one statement that I would like to give is that it is always more difficult to make decisions by your own choice. Is it? We all want to, yes, make our decisions by our own choice, because I think that's the best, that's the highest level of freedom or independence that we can have. But then it is always more difficult to make decisions by your own choice. Why? Why? Anyone? ऐसा क्यों है कि whenever we have to take up decisions by our own choice, then that means more challenges, more stepping out of your comfort zone, more of kind of hiccups or problems coming your way. Why? Any one of you? Or I may be wrong also. That's okay. If you feel that no, it's not like that. When you make decisions by your choice, then that is definitely the best way. But then actually, yeah, it is the best way. But then, as I said, it is more challenging. It is more difficult. Perspective is not one platform, Amita ji says. All have different angles for situations, and you try a solution that fits for all. So it means you have to take into consideration maybe everybody, right, Ankush ji? So that means that is more confusing, that is more mind boggling, right? It again gets very heavy onto us कि अब मैं कहाँ कहाँ ध्यान दूं, किस किस की सुनूं, right? Helena ji says we are in a family or society, and we need to take our near ones ideas also. Yes, right. So we cannot just take up random decisions without considering anybody, right? But then, yes, even when you say that you've taken into consideration all your near dear ones, or you are trying to understand a situation from different perspectives, but then finally, are you able to say that this is my decision and I was not compelled for the same? Are we able to stay strong to this statement, even if you've considered the perspective of all the people around, specifically taking into consideration your near dear ones? But are you able to say, okay, now this is my decision, right? And I did not take this decision under any compulsion or by chance? Are we able to do that? Or still we have something like known as blames, allegations, excuses, because yes, I did not take up the decision as per my choice. So there, whenever I feel that, whenever I say that, I would definitely have a lot of blames, a lot of, stronger version of blames, allegations. They did not allow, they did not listen, they did not, support me, right? We can even call them excuses. Or lastly, complaints. Okay, Amita ji says, I go more towards ethical way rather than biased one. So everyone can be answered, or no question appears. So everyone can be answered. Sorry, Amita ji, I really could not understand your second part of the statement. You said, okay, you go towards the ethical way. So maybe I think what you're trying to say is everyone cannot be convinced, right? If I am not mistaken. So where you're trying to convince everybody, where you're trying to make everybody happy, maybe then your decisions can go biased, right? So maybe that's what you're trying to say, that you do not take up biased decisions, but they're more ethical, right? So this is what, but then primarily ethical or unethical, right or wrong, biased or unbiased, when you have taken up a decision, it should be your decision only. It takes a lot of thought to say that this is my decision. It takes a lot of thought to say that it's my decision. It's more easier to say that I took this decision because of my family. I took this decision because of my the need from my, the roles and responsibilities that I've taken up. But then primarily owning your decision takes what? इस चीज की जरूरत पड़ती है हमें ये कहने के लिए कि ये मेरा डिसीजन है. Any guesses? No? Okay. Let me share a video with you, right? And this is a small video which is about Mr. Anand Kumar. Mr. Anand Kumar, who's a Padma Shri awardee, right, from our country, and he's a renowned mathematician, and his story has been covered by National Geographic, and even I think he had even gone and shared his journey at Harvard and MIT universities as well. So today he's a renowned person from our nation, but he's made a mark at an international level. Some decisions which he took in his life, right? And that's what, again, there's that big question mark when you take a decision yourself, and when you have to own that decision, saying that this is my decision, I did not take this decision for my family, I did not take this decision for my what do you say, my profession, right, or my institution, right, whatever. Because that's again where you're just passing on the blame, you're passing on the reason to it, right? When you have taken a decision in whatever circumstances, you need to own that decision. So let's watch that video on under what circumstances, under what situations did Mr. Anand Kumar took up a decision, and how come he became such a renowned teacher, a renowned teacher, I would say. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So yes, this was a video on the based on the the journey of Mr. Anand Kumar, one of the I think worldwide known renowned mathematician, who himself wanted to go in for Cambridge University, but then yes, due to his financial circumstances, situations, he could not make it, right? And yes, in fact, based upon his life journey, there has been this movie also which came in 2019 with the name of Super 30 only, and in which Ritik Roshan had played the role of Mr. Anand Kumar. Now I would like to, yes, take you forward, that we were talking about our decisions, our responses to life, and primarily, yes, we somewhere feeling more kind of the pressure and load of the situations and circumstances ourselves. Now this is Mr. Anand Kumar, who claims himself to be a teacher, and specifically a mathematics teacher, right? And for him also, situation circumstances were not easy. In fact, primarily he came from a very, very humble background, because of which he could not fulfill his dreams. But something which he took up as a lead, he took up as an initiative, was fulfilling the dreams of many more who could not similarly afford for their higher education, or to go for, some what you know a further, higher education through some private institutions. So now, what is that kind of, inspires or motivates Mr. Anand Kumar, in spite of all those difficult circumstances, that he's taken up a mission so progressively, and then simultaneously he is even able to contribute towards the progress and development of many more. So can we now figure out what is this? Does this has some emotional connect, something which we can call it an emotional skill also? If we've just, seen the video reflecting the life and the journey and the contribution made by Mr. Anand Kumar, right, who himself got somewhere compelled, or maybe was somewhere, kind of taken back by the situations or circumstances. But then what is it that, gave that extra capability or competency to Mr. Anand Kumar, that he could actually be a source of not only an inspiration of motivation, but somebody who could actually help young people, young minds coming from, again, financial restrictions, right, to actually grow up in life and achieve their own dreams? Any one of you? We had just talked about those three C's, which somewhere, restrict us from, uh, sorry, those three C's under which we take up our decisions, right? First was by choice, right? Or maybe I'll just write choice only. That was one C, right? Other was chance. Third was compulsion, right? Now, okay, great. I got a response from Sanjay ji, saying that challenge to opportunity. That's what Anand Kumar ji converted. And now this is something, a big time, a transformation, a changeover, converting your challenges into opportunities. But this all needs another three set of C's, right? Which would be, first, courage, then confidence, and lastly, commitment, right? So three set of C's, which would include courage, confidence, and commitment. And where does all these three come from? Is it our analytical skills, our reasoning skills, our um, kind of what is it, what actually invokes courage, confidence, and commitment within an individual? What kind of skills are these? Any one of you? करेज, जिसको हम हिम्मत, हिंदी में हिम्मत कहते हैं. कॉन्फिडेंस, which is primarily आत्मविश्वास, right, self confidence. And commitment is something, that dedication, right, to fulfill, where you have kind of taken up a responsibility, taking it till the end, not giving up in between. But what skills are desired to keep up these three C's: courage, confidence, and commitment? Of course, they are not just your technical skills. Maybe even if you have to, keep moving on with your technical skills, keep, pursuing your technical ability against all the odds, against all the challenges, then there is something which keeps you more driven, which keeps you, not losing your heart, and keep contributing your best. So what are those skills? sometimes a push or a guidance, very true. And then with that push or guidance, what is it that next we get to understand, or we, somewhere feel inspired or motivated, ki, okay, now I need to, contribute my best, which is primarily something which comes from very strong emotional skills, right? Emotional skills which keep you more um, what which keep you more driven, which keep you more inspired, right? Which keep you always focused onto your key objectives, or what you want to do for, maybe for yourself or maybe for the people around. In that case, you would not be losing your heart time and again. You would not be kind of losing your temperament, right? Your patience levels would be higher. Your way to kind of resolve situations or maybe respond to circumstances would be better, right? So these are all under those emotional skills which we have till date, maybe we have underrated them, or we've not kind of connected to them well, right? So Umangji says vulnerability, clarity of values, trust, and risking skill, rising skills, right? So yes, values, clarity of your own values. What is it that I wish to carry forward in my life as my own personal value? If I am somebody who wants to take up responsibility, or who wants to fulfill my commitments up till the end, that means I am somebody who's more courageous, who's more value driven, right? And I would not kind of get defocused or deviated from my objectives very soon, right? And this all, when we talk about values, principles, um, choices, likings, dislikings, these are all part of your emotional intelligence, emotional intellect, right? Now you need to basically channelize your emotions in that way that they help you to grow out, to be more productive, and simultaneously to be more helpful or beneficial for especially people whom you consider to be your own, or maybe simultaneously to be more service oriented, so that you can even help out many more people. So this can never happen without that emotional intellect. Now if we look back into the life of Mr. Anand Kumar, he was somebody who had suffered himself, that he could not go for his higher studies from an international university due to constraint of money. And that's what developed a very strong emotional skill within him, where he could understand the pain or the limitation of such students coming from humble backgrounds. And he made it that kind of his objective in life to help out those students. But then where he could understand the pain of those other students, that was another very important emotional skill. Do we know what emotional skill was it? Which emotional skill was it, which Anand Kumar actually could develop? And that's why he could actually be a more helpful, or be a more resourceful teacher to his students. Any one of you, which emotional skill was it? He had a regret. Okay, Ankushi, regret, but then he tried to overcome that regret. He tried to channelize that regret into something more productive, something more impactful. So of course that regret was to his to his personal journey, his personal life, but then he made that a mission for his life, right? So empathy, yes, Helena ji, it is empathy, right? That empathy, which is one of the strongest emotional skill, which first and foremost helps us to connect with others. So when we were talking about emotional skills, right, Yeah, I think yes, great. We got a long list of emotional skills from Umangji. So something which we need as individuals to find our own reality, connect to our own situations, know our responses, right? Take up our decisions correctly, right? That's what many of you had mentioned. Right decisions. We have to have a strong self-awareness, right? Which actually then further helps us to manage ourselves in a better way. Social awareness comes from those emotional skills of empathy, right? Then definitely, when we say that yes, I want to be more helpful to others, right, where I want to be service oriented, right, then it is definitely relationship management needs that I should be more considerate in my thoughts. Right now, in fact, that's also an emotional skill, being considerate, right? That yes, whenever I have to take a decision, I always take into consideration what are my situations, what are my circumstances, who are the people who are dependent on to me, and who are the people whom I want to help out. So now that thoughtfulness, in fact, when it's an emotional thoughtfulness, where I am considering those people, those priorities, those responsibilities, where I have an emotional connect, everything is not important for us. I think when we talked about setting our priorities, how do we set up our priorities? We primarily set up our priorities based upon what matters the most. Right now, you have to really figure out that in your life, in your situations, in your circumstances, what matters the most to you. I think somebody who has this clarity would always be more rational, will be more realistic, and will be more um, what do you say, would have a more clarity about your decisions, right? So now I think we must have realized that how come emotional intelligence helps us to lead a more balanced, a more productive, and a more positive life, right? So Umangji says important not only for the well-being of individuals but also for wider communities and societies as a whole. Definitely, that is something, at a bigger level. Umangji, most of us are not able to reach up to that level because we are too much hooked up, or we are too much confused about our own situations only. So first and foremost, when we talk about enhancing our emotional intellect, we have to take into consideration our own self awareness, get into the process of own self acceptance. Okay, this is how I am, where I'm good in something, but then simultaneously I even fall weak in some things where I need to improvise upon. And then that is how I'm able to manage myself in a better way, right? And then simultaneously, now looking around, now connecting to people, who are those people for whom I would like to contribute more, for whom I would like to, give my best, right? Everybody is not a priority in our lives. And that is also which we need to kind of, understand and evaluate. So I think now we must have had an idea that how this emotional intelligence plays such an integral part in each individual's life. But then, foremost, if you're a teacher, then I think it has to be all the more your skill set, because then only you'll be able to understand the situation of your students, and then only you'll be able to help them out in the best way. So that's all from my side on this topic of emotional intelligence. Of course, it's a vast topic, a vast, but I think I could somewhere connect you to the topic, made you realize the importance or significance of it. And especially when you're teacher, then it's an utmost, an essential skill which needs to be developed more strongly within us. So that's all from my side. Anybody, anything which was not clear, which we could not connect to, I'm open to the questions.